Hello and welcome to News Round, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. I'm Teniola Shoboale, the headlines. Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle says insecurity in the northwest is now an existential threat as a federal government delegation visits the state over recent bandits' attack. The federal government lifts suspension on micro-blogging platform Twitter after 7 months. University of Lagos Business School holds first graduation reception and alumni inauguration. Plus, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson admits to attending party in the garden at number 10 and offers heartfelt apology. That's News Round in View. News Round begins in Zamfara State, where Governor Bello Matawalle has described the situation in his state and others in the northwest as unprecedented and an existential threat. The governor stated this when he received a delegation from the federal government following the recent killing of 58 people by terrorists in Anka and Bukuyum communities. The delegation was led by the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi.
The attacks on 8 communities in 2 local government areas of Zamfara State a week ago, which left 58 people dead, brings this federal government delegation to Gusau, the state capital.
Thank you.
The delegation is led by the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi. The state governor does not waste any time bearing his mind on the security situation.
It is evident that unless enough modern equipment is provided to our security forces to fight the war effectively, the country faces a danger for anarchy. This could be foreseen from the recent calls by some leaders for the people to take up arms to defend themselves. It is a sign of lawlessness when the state lost its monopoly over the instrument of cohesion. As a matter of urgency, the federal government should procure armored personnel carrier APC and deploy them across all parts of the country.
Relaying the message from President Muhammadu Buhari, the Minister of Defense assures the people of Zamfara State that the federal government is aware of the security challenges and is working assiduously to crush terror.
The federal government is all out to do more than what we did before in order to bring an end to this menaces. We are on top of the situation. Let me be honest to you and appreciate the efforts of the security forces. That is not good enough for us. We are going to open up and do much, much better.
Bringing some relief to the people, the Federal Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management announces donations of food, clothes and other household items to cushion the hardship of the victims.
Hopefully, by the end of the weekend, we shall receive all the items. In addition to what we have been doing in this state, the social investment programs has been there, supporting our poor and vulnerable. And just recently, the Commission of Refugees under my ministry was in the state to do a groundbreaking for the construction of 50 housing units for the displaced community.
Meanwhile, Governor Bello Matawalle also wants more surveillance carried out in forests, which he says have become hideouts for the terrorists.
Meanwhile, efforts to reposition the Nigerian police for more effective internal security have been boosted with the induction of operational vehicles and other items to the force in Abuja. The president, who was represented at the official commissioning and presentation of the equipment by the Minister of Police Affairs, restated his administration's commitment to equipping the police.
Over 200 Buffalo operational vehicles, bulletproof vests and helmets donated by the Nigeria Police Trust Fund to the Nigeria Police for efficient internal security operations ready to be inducted into the inventory of the force. The items were procured through the Nigeria Police Trust Fund as part of the modernization drive of the federal government. The Special Intervention Fund was set up by the federal government to provide state-of-the-art security equipment and other related facilities for the enhancement of the skills of the officers of the Nigeria Police Force.
May I reiterate once more that the administration of President Muhammad Buhari is adequately poised to give all that is necessary to the Nigerian Police Trust Fund with a view to enable it meet its mandate and attain the expectations of Nigeria Police Force and Nigerians in general. This is part of the ongoing reformation of the Nigerian Police Force by prioritizing provision of modern infrastructure to aid policing in Nigeria.
The cost of above operational vehicles and other security equipment procured for the Nigeria Police Force under 2020 budget amounted to 8,790,321,497 naira 38 kobo.
The Inspector General of Police is optimistic that the equipment will improve the operational efficiency of the force.
All the items provided at the trust fund for the Nigeria Police Force were largely in line with the requisite professional specifications, and they have been tested and found to be. We will continue to partner with the trust fund, and we will not relent in our rendering any form of assistance and support to ensure that the Nigeria Police Trust Fund maintains the momentum while achieving its laudable objectives to the satisfaction of Nigerians.
The operational vehicles and security equipment are thereafter commissioned.
No professional activities and engagements across the country.
The Buffalo trucks are considered rugged and capable of withstanding tough geographical terrains.
And away from security matters, after 221 days of waiting, Nigerians now have access to Twitter as the federal government lifts the 7-month-old suspension on the operations of the microblogging platform. The suspension lift took effect midnight, January the 13th, 2022, and the decision was made known in a statement from the National Information Technology Development Agency. Here's a timeline in the saga between the microblogging platform and the federal government. On June the 2nd, 2021, Twitter deleted a post by President Muhammadu Buhari over his method in tackling insecurity in the southeast, saying it violated its policy. On June the 5th, 2021, Twitter is put on an indefinite suspension in an announcement by the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, restricting it from operating in Nigeria. This sparked massive national and global reactions. In late June 2021, Twitter announced it would enter talks with the Nigerian government over the dispute. Thereafter, the president constituted a 7-man presidential committee to engage Twitter Incorporated. On September 15, 2021, the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, said the Nigerian government will lift the ban on Twitter in a few days. On October the 1st, President Buhari, in his Independence Day broadcast, said Twitter must meet the Nigerian government's 5 conditions before the suspension of the social media platform will be lifted. On December the 9th, 2021, a federal high court in Abuja dismissed a suit filed against the federal government by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project for directing television and radio stations to delete their Twitter accounts. Well, it was a busy time for the president during his visit to Ogun State, where he commissioned a number of projects executed by the Governor Dapo Abiodun-led administration. At the commissioning of the projects, President Muhammadu Buhari promised to begin work on federal roads, which will connect major commercial hubs within the southeast and the rest of the country.
Mr. President's visit to Ogun State is the first official working visit in the life of the present administration and the Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun. His counterparts in Lagos, Ondo, Ekiti, Yobe, Oyo, and Osun, members of his executive council, traditional rulers, leaders of thoughts, were on hand to receive the president and his entourage. His mission here in the state is clear: commissioning of some landmark projects executed by the current administration in the state.
I am commissioning this road on behalf of Ogun State and in Lagos State in particular, and Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Beginning with the newly constructed 14-kilometer Ekpe-Ijebu-Ode Expressway, the president also commissioned the 42-kilometer Abeokuta-Shagamu reconstructed expressway at the Ogun State City Gate.
Expressway reconstructed by
addressing the gathering and giving a panoramic view of the project, Governor Abiodun says they were carefully chosen to improve ease of doing business, attract more investors to the state, and a new lease of life to residents and investors.
Our vision is to give Ogun State a focused and qualitative governance whilst creating an enabling environment for a public-private sector partnership, which we believe is fundamental to the economic growth of the state and individual prosperity of our people.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who seemed to be elated by the choice and quality of projects executed, commended the governor for his foresight and purposeful leadership. Responding to the call for special status for Ogun in critical federal government's infrastructure, especially the Shagamu-Ogijo Road, Papalanto and Ilaro Road, the president assured such roads and more will receive attention as the federal government leverages on tax credit option.
I have also listened to your requests to give priority attention to the Lagos, Ota, Abeokuta, and the Shango, Ota, Idiroko roads, respectively. Let me assure the people of Ogun State that these roads will receive federal government attention.
Its speech is over. The president is presented with the symbolic key of the city gate by Governor Dapo Abiodun.
An enabling environment to provide a focused and qualitative governance.
Other projects commissioned by the president include the 526 units of low and middle income housing scheme at Kobakbe and high income duplexes in Abeokuta.
The Lagos State Council of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives this week called off their earlier scheduled 3-day warning strike. This comes after an earlier stalemate at a congress by members of the Nurses Union, owing to a division over some of the agreements reached with the state government.
It was a calm house at the start of the Lagos State Nurses Congress at the Agidingbi Secretariat in Lagos. Officials who met with the state government reeled out agreements reached at the meeting with the government. First, the commitment of the state to recruit graduates from its nursing school to bridge manpower gaps. It seemed acceptable to them, but the announcement of retention allowances sparked outrage.
Retention allowance has been approved for nurses. The first payment will start January 2022.
Following the outburst, nurses upstaged the officials and it became a rowdy house. One of the state officials tells us the strike cannot be called off without the Congress.
They are already bottled up, and you can see the aggression here. So even reading the message from the governor, they don't want us to say anything, that until everything is being implemented, that they don't want to hear governor has said, governor has said. So,
no, we need to listen.
After many hours of consultation, the nurses then agreed to shelve the industrial action.
And we are very hopeful that implementation will commence immediately. It is on this note that we are suspending the strike to give room for implementation of all our demands.
With the strike called off, Many of the nurses are hopeful that the implementation of the agreement with the state government will commence in earnest.
When News Round returns in just a moment, former head of the Interim National Government, Chief Ernest Shonekan, dies at the age of 85. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. The former head of the Interim National Government, Chief Ernest Shonekan, has died at the age of 85. He was said to have died at a private hospital in Lagos in the early hours of Monday. Chief Shonekan was a boardroom guru before his foray into the political scene when he was selected to head the Interim National Government that succeeded the Babangida administration on August the 26th, 1993. This report captures his life and times.
Ernest Adegunle Shonekan was born on the 9th of May 1936 in Lagos to an Abeokuta-born civil servant and was one of the 6 children in the family. The young Ernest Shonekan received his early education in Lagos, where he attended CMS Grammar School and Igbobi College. He also received a law degree from the University of London in 1962, was called to bar and later attended the Harvard Business School. As a lawyer and businessman, Ernest Shonekan joined the United Africa Company in 1964, rising to become the company's chairman and chief executive in 1980. A boardroom strategist, Chief Shonekan went on to found the Nigeria Economic Summit Group in 1994. On the home front, he was installed the Abbess of Egbaland in his home state, Ogun, in 1981. Having spent all his working career in the private sector, his sojourn into politics could best be described as a date with destiny. He was appointed to head the Transitional Council and Interim Government on January 2nd, 1993 by General Ibrahim Babangida. The Transitional Council was designed to be the final phase leading to a scheduled handover to a democratically elected leader of the Third Nigerian Republic. Unable to rein in the political crisis that followed the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, then military president General Ibrahim Babangida handed over to Chief Ernest Shonekan on the 26th of August 1993, who then assumed the title head of the Interim National Government. That government was subsequently declared illegal by Lagos High Court in November 1993. He subsequently resigned on the 17th of November and was succeeded by General Sani Abacha. Although his stay at the very top of government was very brief, he did leave his mark within that time. Some of his actions as head of government include the release of political prisoners detained by his predecessor, Ibrahim Babangida, as well as the introduction of a bill to repeal 3 major draconian decrees of the military government. Since he left office, he retreated mostly from public life, although he was often cited at meetings of the National Council of State. Chief Ernest Shonekan is survived by his wife, Margaret, 4 children, and many grandchildren.
Now, the University of Lagos has attained a new feat in its pursuits to become a world-class educational institution with the graduation of the first set of participants at the University of Lagos Business School. The graduation reception and the inauguration of the new alumni as a subset of the University of Lagos alumni held at the main campus of the institution at Yaba.
The Human Resources Development Center Garden provides a cool and perfect ambience for guests to converge outdoor and celebrate another first in the history of the University of Lagos.
From my title as Executive Director of the University.
The guests, comprising principal officers of the university, members of the University of Lagos Business School Advisory and Academic Board, as well as principal officers of the University of Lagos Alumni Association, are honoring the pioneer set of participants who have successfully completed the Executive Master of Business Administration at the Business School. The Executive Director, University of Lagos Business School, Professor Abraham Oshunubi, takes the audience on a journey of how the vision has unfolded.
A vision, ladies and gentlemen, that is not challenged
is hardly a vision at all. But at ULBS, we don't glorify challenges. We don't glorify problems. Problems take you to the next level. That is why we are here. We conquer them with grace, with poise, and with style. That is what we do at University of Lagos Business School.
The Vice-Chancellor's goodwill message and charge to the student is delivered by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Management Services.
You are our marketers. You are our brand ambassadors, and we trust that you will not let us down. On our side, we will continue to do our best to uphold the University of Lagos brand so that together we will all be proud of the work that we are doing.
The graduation of the pioneer students of ULBS also marks an important milestone in the life of the University of Lagos Alumni Association, as a new body of the association is born.
As a proud alumnus of the University of Lagos,
the national president of the body, Dr. John Momo, does the inauguration.
My country and society at large. So help me God.
In his address, Dr. Momo encourages them to be problem solvers in the society and their alma mater, the University of Lagos.
We cannot be called greater cockeyes if everything around us remains the same. We must impact positively on our environment. Let's not wait for things to happen. Let's make things happen. And instead of praying for change, let us initiate the change. Because as you all know, faith without works is dead.
The keynote speaker, Dr. Akintoye Akindele, addresses the graduates on what they need to excel.
To those of you guys today, my first advice to you is stay stupid, stay foolish, stay hungry. Ask questions. Whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're a manager, what will set you apart, what will enable you to use this thing you've studied for 2 years is your ability to ask questions, not to be deterred, to ignore opinions, to know that your life is valid, your dreams are valid, your goals are valid, and pursue them.
4 of the graduates are awarded certificates of academic excellence in recognition of their performance during the course of the program.
We present this certificate of academic excellence to Kilani Hawa.
Hawaii Kilani also emerges the best graduating participant. Some of the participants speak on the experience at the ULBS and the new feat.
With dedication, commitment, and support of the ULBS management and the UNILAG management at large, the dream came true.
The experience was fantastic, particularly because we're new, so we had the opportunity to define what we wanted.
The University of Lagos Business School became operational in 2018 with a mission to provide innovative business research and training, as well as build capacity to deliver business and entrepreneurial success.
News round ends with the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson apologising for attending a bring-your-own-alcohol party during the first coronavirus lockdown. He told MPs he thought the event in the Downing Street Garden was a work event, but he should have realised how it would look to the public. Labour leader Keir Starmer urged the Prime Minister to resign, calling him pathetic.
Over the last 18 months. Mr. Speaker, I want to apologise. I know that millions of people across this country have made extraordinary sacrifices over the last 18 months. I know the anguish that they have been through, unable to mourn their relatives, unable to live their lives as they want, or to do the things they love. And I know the rage they feel with me and with the government I lead when they think that in Downing Street itself, the rules are not being properly followed by the people who make the rules. And though I cannot anticipate the conclusions of the current inquiry, I have learned enough to know that there were things we simply did not get right. And I must take responsibility. Number 10 is a big department with the garden as an extension of the office. which has been in constant use because of the role of fresh air in stopping the virus. And when I went into that garden just after 6 on the 20th of May, 2020, to thank groups of staff before going back into my office 25 minutes later to continue working, I believed implicitly that this was a work event. But, Mr. Speaker, with hindsight, I should have sent everyone back inside. I should have found some other way to thank them. And I should have recognized that even if it could be said technically to fall within the guidance, there would be millions and millions of people who simply would not see it that way, people who suffered terribly, people who were forbidden from meeting loved ones at all, inside or outside. And to them and to this House, I offer my heartfelt apologies. And all I ask is that Sue Gray be allowed to complete her inquiry into that day and several others so that the full facts can be established.
And that's News Round this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Teniola Shiboale. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.